Right, good evening everyone. We are going to start a few minutes early because this isn't live going out, so we'll be there for the parish to see very close to this date. So good evening everyone, thank you for coming out on this lovely evening. I must admit it's nice to be a little bit cooler, and that's a typical English comment because we love the weather, we love to talk about it, but we always moan about it. Yes, right. We'll kick off with the minutes of the last. Oh, anyone have any declarations of interest?
Oh, do you want apologies?
Yes, I just vote yes. Yep. Apologies. Sorry.
Apologies from Councillor Innes, Councillor Wright, Councillor Taylor, and County Councillor Collar.
Right. Haven't heard from David Beanie.
No.
No, I had chased him. No, he came on yesterday about a couple of matters, but I texted him back and said, "Are you attending?" He didn't answer, so I assume nothing. But no shame, because he's really been quite helpful with a number of matters. Right, apologies for absence. Item 2, declarations of interest. Any amongst a few? No. Right. I have, and you all have, a copy of the minutes of the previous meeting. Are you happy that these are correct, and if so, can I have a proposer and seconder? Pauline? Christiane, right. Updates of the minutes. We obviously don't have the phone box on the agenda, but so therefore, just to confirm, everything is completed on it. Christiane is being very good, and she sorted the books out.
There's loads in there now.
Well, I kind of been a bit ruthless there, and I'm still driving around with quite a few there.
Yeah, but the people are using it as a dumping ground.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got lots of books I can put there. No, the idea is they exchange books.
Yeah.
But I mean, I took a bag of books that was laying outside before it opened, and I thought this is silly because we want odd books, but we don't want someone dropping 20 books in and taking none out, because the shelves are pretty full. So people have to get into the habit of using it correctly. It's to exchange books. Yeah, if you've got a really good one, leave it, but don't leave bags of old books, because
perhaps we need some signage up in there.
Well, no, you need common sense.
Well,
and who's going to take responsibility? Someone, person unknown, is running the library. Really, they should take a lead. They should be putting the notices up, because if we do it wrong, they can moan, "Oh, my books have gone because you said this, that." No. It's about time that whoever it is put their hand up and said, "Yes, it's me," and I'll take the key. I will need.
Well, I kind of adopted that now.
Yeah, I know you have, but I'm just saying that we can't start putting notices in there, because it's not ours to put notices in.
I was driving along Lower Road quite recently. It was during school holidays. So, youngsters were about, obviously with time on their hands. Took up a few lads, and there were several books strewn out in the road. And obviously somebody obviously spoke to them, but they just ran off laughing and joking. But there were just books thrown out over.
I know. Unfortunately, that's going to happen.
It's not locked at the moment, but we see how it goes.
Yes.
It wasn't locked the other day. Definitely not when I looked at it now.
Yeah. No, it's not. Because
I've got
somebody had said the co-op had agreed, and the co-op said definitely they hadn't.
In case we need to lock it, but
No, we've agreed that we will leave it unlocked. We'll see how it goes. But I say, yes, certainly you've put a message on Facebook, haven't you, to say use it as an exchanging library, not a dumping ground for old books. Right. I also had set up a deposit bank account. Did that go through, Andrew?
I haven't set one up yet. I mean, it's problem really as to what we want to do with the money, how soon we want to use it. The best interest rates are really if you're prepared to leave it in for a certain amount of time, at least a year. And if we're going ahead with the project on,
Well, I was going to say for a year would be very difficult. It means then, okay, if you use it, then you lose your interest for the whole year on the whole sum. I mean, it may be that yes.
I mean, they've gone up a little bit in the last week or so. You might get sort of 2% on an instant access.
Yeah, it's
but,
terrible. Yeah, you do. Yeah.
But if you're going to get 5%, you really have to lock it in for.
Okay, well, I suggest that next meeting we make a decision as to what we're going to do. But I think it would be very difficult to lock a big sum away. No.
Have you looked at the Scribe online software for a trial?
I had a look at it. They sent me a pack of stuff which I had a good look at. I was kind of decided in the end that it wouldn't really. It saves some time, but then there's other bits that you spend more time doing. You have to put in codes with each transaction, and that's how it works out the reports. I've spent some time redoing the way that I present the accounts, hopefully to make them quicker to do, rather than doing it in 2 spreadsheets, one for the rec and one for the parish. I now do 1 spreadsheet and then analyse it all out. That will make it quicker for VAT because it's effectively the information is already there, and also for balancing the account and everything as well. So I think, especially as we're now 5 months into the year, I think it's better that it's.
Well, as all I'm worried about is that we have always quite a sum of VAT outstanding, and we to the village have a duty to recover that money, because if it is there to invest, that's another 10 plus thousand, and it can be. I know before we've been as high as 20,000 on VAT. Andrew, I mean.
Well, I have now caught up, so
Yep,
the back is
brilliant.
done up to
Brilliant.
the end of
No,
March.
I mean,
so we've got
if you've got to finalise your plan, let us know then at the next meeting, and we'll agree. I'm certain to go along with that. If as long as it's not putting more pressure on you, because you are permanently under pressure. Right. Anyone got anything else on those?
No.
Right. I think everything else on there will be covered in some way, shape or form. Right. To receive reports from district and county councillors.
There are none.
No, I know, that's why I looked up. And B,
Parish council.
has anyone got anything they want to bring up of interest at this meeting? Chris?
Well, I've already mentioned just observing the what happened recently with the telephone box.
Oh, right, yes. Yep.
But other than that, nothing
No.
really.
Christian?
No, I mean, I just I've been winding down the fate. I've been handing out the last raffle prizes, sorted through the phone box this month. Had a good clear out because some books were a bit damaged. Some are more Christmassy. I put them away for later and sorted them by categories a bit, like non-fiction, crime and novels, and then the kids at the bottom. Took the 50 Shades of Grey book from the kids' shelf, put it higher.
Someone knows how to do it.
Right.
One of the most boring books I've ever read, that.
Never bothered.
There's someone on camera. You read that? Yeah, that's from me.
He's read it. I haven't read it, but anyway, so carry on. Right, anything?
Only that I said last time there were incidents with the motorbikes. We
Yes.
haven't had any for a little while, so it looks like the police
Still
they've been,
hot.
and also they've been patrolling a bit more. The cars from police that's quite a few times.
Good,
So it's
good.
so far, but it's been a bit quieter.
Lovely. Certainly I have nothing under this. Come very quickly to item 6, which is any question from members of the public.
Is the coffee shop open?
Yes.
Yes,
Somebody asked me and I said I'm not sure.
Yes.
But I'll ask tonight.
opened over the weekend and officially opened yesterday. Yes.
And the hours that it's open?
Yes.
10 till 3 and at the moment 4 till 6.
They will shut on
10 to
one.
3,
Wait,
then 4 to 6.
Yeah.
They did mention that they were planning to shut on one weekday,
They haven't said which one
but they
yet.
haven't decided which one yet because I want to trial for 2 weeks
Well,
Which
they
is
have
a quiet
agreed
day.
to open and close the toilets. So if
No, because I haven't dropped the key off yet.
I've given them one,
Oh,
yes,
Oh,
they
and
didn't have one. They didn't have one. So
yeah.
and they started. Yes.
Well, I'll drop you another key off.
Yeah. No. I do clear up after you. Yes. No, they were saying they've got a key.
It's very nice in there as well. Yeah.
Yes, they.
Thank you.
But I think their hours hopefully will become more flexible.
Yeah.
Because I say this evening I went there at 6:30 to the fish and chip shop
And
bang,
shop.
and they were shut, and there must have been 50 plus people in the rec, plus 2 or 3 teams playing football. It was wonderful. It was absolutely packed.
That's when it needs to be.
Yes, yeah. But I say, and I've also, what I will do is to make certain that Steve Mart gives them his fixture card so they know when he's playing, because
They would use it.
they're very keen on using it. Right. So that was the only question from the public gallery. Yes?
You got other questions?
No?
No?
That's good. No. Right.
Discuss later.
Item 7, planning matters.
Right, we've got the two. One's the crown reduction, which there's no objections to, and that, having looked where it is, it definitely needs to be cut back a bit.
We've got a picture, it doesn't really show you very much.
No, it's just, I mean, you just can't see much, but yeah, it needs cutting back, it's quite tall. Yeah, that needs being done, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And the other one's an amended one for Frandom boarding kennels. Looks like they got the land bit wrong at the beginning, because they haven't changed anything to do with the kennels they're building. They just had the outskirts outline wrong, so they've readjusted that. But there's one person who have put a comment on in there for it anyway. They said they're glad it's happening, so.
All right. No
one's objected.
No one
to that.
objects. So no objection.
Just the one comment, and no one else, none of the others.
And you're happy with?
Yep.
Yep.
Well, it's miles out of the way out there,
Yep.
it's not going to be overlooked or anything.
So Andrew, if you can mark accordingly then.
Yep. will
Approve
do.
both. Yep. Any decisions?
Yeah, I've had a few come in. There was one that we hadn't, I don't think we had this come through. There's one of the trees with a TPO on it in the amenity land in Riverdale has had permission for some work to be done. 20 Kingston Close, crown reduction, which we did have a couple of months ago, that's been approved. We didn't have this one, from 2 mil race certificate of lawfulness for installation of solar panels. I don't know whether we was
No.
given
No,
those,
No.
but it's been approved. But I say we didn't. I'm sure we didn't get it.
Building
Perhaps we did,
regulations
yes.
might have put
Yep.
that one in.
Probably,
It's not retrospective, is it?
no.
No. They so often.
Yeah, usually put one on.
Yes.
20 Orchard Drive, erection of single-storey side extension, that's been approved. One thing which we didn't, I don't think was given to us, but Kersney Cafe put in a change of use to
Wedding venues.
functions and event space, and that's been approved. They do list it as Orkham Road,
Kersney
Temple
Where is that?
at Kersney Abbey.
Sorry. Yes.
They
Yes.
just haven't told anybody where all those wedding guests are supposed to park, haven't they?
Yeah, there's nothing in the application as to where they're parked.
Underground car park under the abbey, that would be brilliant.
No, I thought it was a private tea room or something. That's why I was.
No.
Yeah, they got the address as Orkham Road, Temple Ewell, but of course Kersney Abbey actually is in River, not.
Yeah.
But never mind. 21 Deanwood Road, erection of pitched roof extension. That was a retrospective one, and that's been approved. And that's
Good.
it.
Nothing else? Wonderful. Right, we'll move on to item 8, which is financial reports on matters.
Right, you've got a financial, which is that one there. What you've got is underneath the second sheet is the list of the transactions for the past 3 months. But you've got them there for particularly the last 2 months that we haven't looked at it. I think you can fairly easily spot which one's a rec and which one's a parish, and it's without needing to have a separate separate explanation. One thing you will notice is that the month of August, everything has been either direct debit or online.
Yeah, well done, yes.
So much easier.
Yes, it is, and we've even mastered it, haven't we? If we have to authorise them.
It's going to make it so much quicker
Yes.
and easier. And I would suggest that we do everything online now.
Yes.
And that if people want to check, well, they have to ask us for it nicely.
People very seldom want to check nowadays, do they? They've got to go to the
But
bank.
it is so much easier to
Yes.
do.
Because of course checks tend to sit around in drawers waiting for people to go to the bank, and then that causes problems with that, with reconciling it. So the front page then, I've just had a look at the first 5 months. So we've got our first column is the budget, our budget for the year. So precept, and then the money for the office lease coming in, and that was our predicted income. We've had some event income, obviously, about £1,745, balancing off against somewhere down at the bottom. You'll see the costs, the events costs, about 1,500. But of course, that is for 2 events. Remember, it's the 2 events. It's
The coronation
and the fete. So overall, the income kind of washed the face of both of them, but we haven't got much surplus because we did 2 events.
No, because normally if we have a surplus, we then decide, or the committee decides what they want to do with it. Yeah, or who they can help with it. Right.
Obviously, I've also done a projected income there for the year because we've obviously got more office lease payments coming in, and we've had some money from River Bowling Club for the water supply.
It's quite a sum of money, isn't it? I said it would be. Yes.
And obviously now the cafe lease payments will start coming in as well. So our total income for the year will be somewhere in the region of 81,000. Expenditure, we've had a couple of expensive areas, particularly the repair work in the recreation ground. There's been quite a few expenses with maintaining the children's play areas. And obviously the trees around them.
Yes.
Has been the latest thing as well.
The children, just so you did the children play area, we had an up-to-date 3-monthly inspection report, didn't we? And I think there was about £400 to pay. What we're doing is, rather than as we have done traditionally, is to wait for something to break completely and then more like get it replaced and it's out of action. Everything is in the rec, it's checked now quarterly, and there's an annual safety inspection on top of that, but we keep everything up to 100% condition. Even some of the gym equipment, I saw they were mending that as part of the £400 they want. So yes, there's not a question of coming to a meeting and saying we need to repair this. It will, as soon as they give us a report, they are told, yes, go ahead, do it, because we can't afford to have any equipment waiting for an answer. So, yeah, sorry, Andrew. Yep.
So then the other expense that we're expecting in the next few weeks, we've had or hopefully would have had our Arbica tree inspection.
Yes.
Done on Friday. So he'll be advising us on what work he's doing along with the work that has to be done for highways for clearance.
You sent me a query.
Yes,
didn't
I did, yes.
That covers that query.
It does.
Yeah, because I asked her about them at the
Yes.
time, and she has put it in there to the curb, which means it covers all the ones over the pavement.
Perfect, that's good.
Yeah.
I'll explain that in a second, what we're talking about. I know exactly what we're talking about. Yes, I'll do it on the report.
So
Thank
the
you.
other thing which I will email you is I'll email you the bank reconciliation and the latest bank statements. I was having printer troubles this afternoon, so I couldn't get them printed off, but I'll email you digital copies of those so you've got those as well. And second item is a request from the Whitehall Trust for support for buying new defibrillator pads for their defibrillator. Do you have a price for them?
When I looked up the pads, they were £246, but then I looked at another site and they're a bit cheaper.
But how many, is it just a single pad or is it pads?
Pads.
Yeah, so how many pads?
4 you need.
I think there's 4, yeah, it's the adult
One
ones.
here and
Yeah, 4. And then there's also the batteries, which are over £100. I mean, obviously this doesn't belong to the village hall, it's actually a community defibrillator which was purchased from fundraising. The only reason it's there is because they needed a site for it to be put on for the village.
So basically we're talking of 4 at about £200 and about £100 for batteries. Yes.
And it comes up about once every few years.
Yeah, about every 5 years.
Yes, yes.
has it actually ever been used?
It's not, well, we had an issue where it kept going off saying it had been used, but I wonder if that's a way of testing it to make sure you're going and checking it's working properly. So when I checked last week, that's when I found that batteries needed changing as well.
Yeah.
They don't last very long, do they?
About 5 years.
Yes, yeah.
And of course the batteries when it gets
If
so
it's a
low,
community
it sets it off.
piece of equipment
Yeah,
rather
they
than the
will.
village
Yeah,
halls,
yeah.
and if we replace them rather than giving grants, that would be cheaper.
Andrew?
Yes.
What I was going to say is, if you purchase them, because if we purchase them, we'll have to pay VAT.
Certainly we recover it, yes.
You would have to pay the VAT on
Yeah, I
it.
was going to say, because it's a community, it's not as if we're buying it for anyone else.
No,
It's a community
Yeah.
asset.
So you might be able to get it cheaper.
Okay, I know there's only a few of us, but are we
Yeah,
happy?
Yeah.
Are you happy if Andrew gets the 4 pads and the batteries? And yes,
If you send me the exact model number so I know what,
Yeah.
make sure I get the right
Yeah,
one.
Okay.
do that for you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, it's going to be once every 4 or 5 years, so that's it.
Yeah.
You've got to do it.
Right. Item 9. I've got quite a long list of bits and pieces on the rec. Do you want me to go through those first, or?
Yeah.
Yes. Right. Cafe lease. I spoke to Frederick Hall, the solicitors who drew the lease up. It takes effect from as and when the cafe opens. Having spoken to Andrew, we have said to them it will start from the 1st of October, so they've got a couple of weeks because the poor girls have been waiting an awful long time for Mr. Hill. So that lease will come into effect 1st of October, and basically that earns us £70 a week, so about £3,500 a year for a building which was derelict, which in 5 years is ours, and it's worth a lot more money than it was then. So that's a cafe lease, and yeah, you've obviously heard the opening hours. The yard behind the cafe, a weird situation, but we as River Parish Council own the gateway that goes in there, and we also own a piece of land where there was a lean-to that was affixed to the wall of the cottage and ran right out to the opening. So I've asked John Hill is to erect a fence, a small fence with an opening so they can still bring their bins out, but they will use their side of the fence because the cafe need that yard to stack their tables in of a night, and most importantly, I know it was my predecessors, I hated the missing gate and the hole there. We will erect a gate there. That will be down. That'll be for River Parish, but it will be not. It won't be lockable, but it will actually close that area off. And all of the residents have had a letter explaining what we're doing, and we've now got some very good friends who have come out and said, well, we've never objected. They even cleared up John's mess, which is quite something. So yes, that yard will be very shortly closed off to the public with that gateway, and it'll tidy the whole area up.
I deliver rival to people in those houses
Yes.
at the back, and I have to go from the rec through the gate, well, through the hole,
Yep.
down the steps.
Yep.
So from now on, that's going to be closed.
No. There is a gate there, but there's no lock on the gate,
Oh,
and
right.
and the fence is is maybe this high, but it'll be a wire fence, but there'll be a fence there simply so they know which is their area. But they will be able to wheel their bins. It'll be wide enough for them to wheel their bins in and out.
More a symbolic fence, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. Right.
It's just whether, oh, am I going to get in?
Oh, no,
Yeah.
it's
Oh
not-
no, you'll go in exactly the same way.
Same way.
The gate will not be locked.
Okay.
Yeah, I had
right.
to drive that
Yeah.
Right. Andrew appertained to tree work. We obviously, well, we had a letter from was it Highways?
Yeah.
Yes, to say that we had
One
to.
stagecoach, I both sent it.
Yes. The branches were starting to hit the buses. We asked GW to get their subcontractor in, who said, well, I won't do anything, I'll come and look at it, I'll survey it, but I need to know you've got planning permission. He then came back and said, oh, great, that's for up high, but you asked me also to take the branches off at pavement level, because some of them are very low, and Pauline has just confirmed that that is actually covered in the DDC letter, so I will drop a note to GW to say yes, they can do it, we are covered. Tarmac driveway done, completely finished. Dover Rangers licence for the wreck. It was mentioned at the last meeting that we approved it. It's now been signed, Andrew, hasn't it?
It's been signed. I can send a digital copy around to everyone if you
Yes,
want
I
to
think it
look
would be a
at
good idea, yes, yeah. But it now means Rangers are there, and because they have that licence, they're able to get assistance with the cutting costs, the lining costs, which means they are there virtually free of charge. So, Rangers are, well, very, very happy with what we've done, because it's made so many more things possible for them. Right, the change in rooms, we have an item on the agenda straight after this, isn't it, on this point, which is the community use agreement, which, providing we receive it tonight and we're all happy, we've got a draft copy, then we will be going to Sport England saying, right, there's a community use agreement you asked for, please now withdraw your objections to the planning. Which they said they would do. I hope that's the end of it. Right, the container, as mentioned, we have surrounded it with Leylandii trees. They're being watered every day at the moment, and they will continue to be watered all the time it's dry, but they will very quickly bush out and they will cover that completely. Rangers have offered to us approximately 50% of that container for storage of the fate bits and pieces, to be held in there on the basis that we only want it once a year, so they can move their stuff, their gear out as and when we want to get it for the fate. So it does mean that the changing rooms will be nearly empty of everything, which is good. It'll be much better for us. What I'd like to do at the next meeting is to discuss the plan for that, Andrew. I know we've got a plan for it, but let's make certain that if we're getting rid of all of that, that we may not, we'd allowed some areas of storage, we may even want to slightly tweak what we were looking at. So I know, Christian, you were speaking to Jill, weren't you, about doing
Clearing out or
and
inventory
making an
or-
inventory, and if you do that, what Steve Martyr says, if you say what wants to be moved across, his lads will do it. They'll move it into the container for us, so it really is an ideal opportunity. If you want a hand doing that, I'm more than happy to help. That's the counting, etc. But if you've got youngsters to move it,
Yeah.
we'll leave it to them. Yes.
Do we know if John is going to move the chairs from the changing room? Which
Yes,
he is,
that,
so-
yes, they were supposed to be for the cafe.
I know, but they're
Yeah,
obviously not
well,
going to be used.
I will ask John Hill. He took the units out of there, but yes, I will ask him, and if not, they will be dumped. Yeah, he will dump them. But they were massive chairs, weren't they? I mean, they were filthy. He was working around them. And that's why I said, get them out of there. Right, I did say play areas. We've had the latest report. They are just about 100% up. We've had a little bit of work being done on the gym equipment, but basically everything is in tip-top working order and being kept that way. As far as I can on the rec, I think I've covered anything. Is there anything that anybody wants to ask with regard to the rec? If not, we move on very quickly, right? There's no questions. Right, and then we come on then to 9B, and that's to receive the draft document.
Well, the draft is still being drafted. I've only got one copy, I'm afraid, because again, my printer wouldn't play. It is a pretty substantial document. Template that I was provided was basically intended for use by schools opening up their school grounds. So I've been trying to adapt it for our use. From reading the information that we've been given, Sporting them will have to approve the document. I don't know whether they're a signatory. I've got to get them to confirm who are the signatories of the document, whether it's just us, whether DDC need to approve it, it's linked to them, or whether Sporting them need to be signatories. So I need to confirm that.
Okay.
But, so if you want to have a look at it, you're welcome to. But it still needs some finishing off. But I'm pretty close to finishing off there.
Have you got an electronic copy of it or not?
I have, yeah. I can send that.
No, I was just going to say, ideally, just put it around to everyone. We can all look at it at leisure. I find it so much easier to. I shouldn't say it. I still like to print it out, bit of paper, read it, and I can tick and mark it, as opposed to just reading it on the screen. I know everyone says don't print it, but no, if you could do that, Andrew, that would be perfect. Good. But I mean, if that is accepted, as I said, it does mean that the building work on the lower changing rooms take place, and we've then got a proper meeting room for use by the village as a whole, not just the parish council, not just for the football, but it will be there. People want it for yoga, Pilates, whatever it may be. That will be, if they want it, they may use it. Not in opposition to I'm just thinking as I'm saying that I've got to be so careful. But no, we just want to
It's nice to have a
yes,
tool in
yes,
because people used to use the school, but they don't use it very often now.
Right, that's me finished on 9, and then we move on to item 10 to discuss highway matters.
Yeah, I've got quite a lot of little things. First thing, there is something which Mrs Nicholas brought to our attention, is that there used to be a handrail coming down Luckhurst Road on the corner with Cowper Road, which was sort of there. This is before this new build was constructed a few years ago.
Right.
And when they constructed the house, they took away the handrail. So the suggestion, the request is to reinstate the handrail. So I'll speak to. Yeah.
Whose land is the handrail on?
Well, I mean, it was.
This came out when they built the houses that used to be around the corner here, but the gardens came out of it, didn't they? So I don't know, highways will have to look at where they want to put it. And then you've got to ask the house owner.
Well,
they'll have to ask the house owner.
Yes.
Is that not a private wall now?
I'm not sure.
Probably.
Yeah, mine isn't, but there's.
Mr Chairman, can I throw some
Yes,
light on
of
the
course.
situation?
Yes.
It is part of the bridle path. The Luckhurst Road, which you've got a copy of in front of you, is an unadopted road. It belongs to the residents of Luckhurst Road to maintain it. Having seen Andrew the picture, I don't think they've done much maintenance on it lately. But can you see, Chairman and the rest of the councillors, that the road slopes as you walk from Ashclose and beyond Linders Road, etc. It actually slopes right down into Cowper Road. Many years ago, on the left-hand side, there was a handrail. But of course, 2 of the houses have been demolished and a great big double-fronted sort of house has been built. And the handrail has disappeared. Now, I am concerned that in the winter months, and I've brought it to your attention now, because it gets very icy. And I'm concerned that children will walk down there. Councillor Christiana Atkins is looking at it. It slopes all the way down, and as my daughter explained to me, and she's getting on a bit now, but she came down there and she went completely over and, you know, cut her legs.
Right, so
It doesn't really matter, can we put one?
That is part of the bridle.
Yeah.
We are allowed as, you know,
But if it's
the
an
community,
unadopted.
we're allowed to walk along there because it is part of the bridle
Oh, yeah,
path
but if it's
that
a
goes
bridle-
from Crabble Lane right through to.
But if it's a bridle path, won't they say the house owner has to put the thing up?
Well, before it was put in by the council, but
So
the argument will be that they didn't want it, and
they can
I'm not
have it.
asking you to pay for it, Chairman, but I think it should be that we have something there to stop the young children, mothers, who don't know this, Councillor Atkins, pushing the pushchairs. It's not very good.
We can ask
Yep.
KCC to
So-
put it.
I mean, technically, you could
do we
put
go to
something on the
Casey?
other side.
Sorry,
You could
Pauline,
put-
would you
not put
mind
something here?
if you take that on then?
You could put something here, can't you?
Well, I would think so, but I think you'd probably, that is the bridle path coming on. We're
Yeah,
allowed to
yeah,
walk along there.
But when I walk down there, I usually don't walk there.
Yeah, well that's, when I was up
Yeah.
there, we went along there once. When we put the new steps in Ash Close, they got on their high horse and went for me, and they put drums right across, you know, oil drums. You're not walking down our road, you've got no right, but of course we had, because it's part of the bridle path, but they didn't want us walking there. And if you live in Lyndhurst Road and all roads off of it, you've got to walk all the way around, as I did when I first came to River, all the way up Crumble Lane, down Lewisham Road. That is a nice little shortcut, and it's very dangerous, as you can see.
I'll find out for you. Stephen.
Yes,
Yeah, but it
So-
definitely is awful,
right.
Very, very steep.
and they should never have taken it out without consulting with the parish council.
Right, so Pauline, you'll check with KCC and then if necessary, if you've got to go to the household or
We'll
something,
go to them.
yes.
It's not getting
Okay.
slippery in winter.
Hopefully, by the next meeting, we'll have some indication as to what we can do and can't do. Yes,
Thank you, Chairman.
thank you.
So next
Right.
item on there is similar kind of problem. The end of Beresford Road where it comes into Common Lane, and this has been brought up several times, and I have I have been in touch with Kent Highways in the past and not really got much of an answer on it. The signage is actually contradictory
Yeah.
because at the Valley Road end you have a no through road sign. And at the Common Lane end, you have an unsuitable for vehicles, which is an advisory notice. So one end it says, you know,
Can't go through.
you can't go through, and the other end it says, well, you can go through, but watch out.
Might be not
Yeah.
correct.
So it really
Made
wants
up,
to-
isn't it?
It wants the correct signage.
But I also understood that sometime in the past it was partly concreted on the basis that it would make it safer, but they wouldn't do it completely, otherwise it would become an adopted
Road.
road.
Yeah, yeah.
So what are
It's
we
adopted, isn't it?
what are we looking to change the status of that to a road?
I don't think you can. Can I say something?
Yes, of course, yes.
What sort of priority you're going to give to it if you change the status to a road? Are you going to put cars as a priority against pedestrians? Because this issue came up some years ago, and we did have lots of discussion about it, and the parish council at the time inspected it and agreed that it's not a road, it's never been, it was called the Cut originally. I've lived there a long time, and the pathway was very worn and crumbling, and they agreed to redo the path and only do it one side so that it remained for pedestrians, children,
Yep.
mothers with prams, disabled, anybody who wants to walk through there, but not for cars. They left the other side rough so that it wouldn't be used as a roadway. If you change it, what sort of priority are you going to give it?
No, when I said, yeah, sorry, you jumped in very quickly.
Yeah.
I said, should we look at a change of status? because it's a contradiction. One says it's not safe for motor vehicles. One says, there's, and really, I would imagine highways or someone needs to confirm their understanding of the status of that bit of road. Nothing to do with us making the decisions. We really need to understand why it isn't no entry, no way through, and not an advisory sign coming the other way. We've not put any of those into place, and I think we need to have some answers from them before we do anything.
I do think the parish council put the notice up by Weaver House at the end, unsuitable for
Right.
motor vehicles.
We'd have had it put up.
Yes, but I'm saying that's obviously a contradiction from one and the other end, so we really need to get clear guidance from someone as to what can and cannot happen to that, and then we'll have a discussion as to what's happened. At the moment, all I want to do is it's been an eyesore, it's been a problem for many, many years, and it needs resolving. And for me, either that's no entry at all and no question of giving an advisory notice, not to bring in motor vehicles, should be no motor vehicles, I believe, but...
Road, like a pole there, that cars can't go through there anymore.
No, you can't have that. Chairman,
Yes,
I'm sorry to
yeah,
intervene,
sorry.
but Vanessa and I, we remember all the history of this, don't we?
We do.
Yes, we do. You cannot have bollards right across because Danfords have had that right of use for so many years,
Yep.
and I would never contradict with Danfords, but it is very dangerous the way it is now, because a friend of mine nearly got knocked over when you're walking down Common Lane on the right hand side because there's a path, and me with my stick now. If you go on, you go along and a car comes whizzing along, and I must say, thank God she's not present now, one of your former councillors always whizzing up and down there, absolutely horrendous. But you cannot have bollards right across because Dumfords have got the right of way. But it's for the safety of our children, the people that walk that way, and for old people like me, you want to keep on the right hand side going down Common Lane, and if you want to get to the village hall then you cross over, but you don't expect to see a car come along and nearly knock you flying. And it wasn't made up, and anybody that contradicts and say it should be made up, they're going against the ethos of what it was ever meant to be. It's not meant to be. And if you look up the plans, which I have done, and it defines it as a track.
Yes.
If I could just say, the big problem will be, you can't say this is no entry for anyone apart from the Dumfords.
No.
You can't do that. So I know what you're saying,
Yes.
but you can't say no cars. Oh, and by the way, Dumfords can come through. So we need to get some guidance on it from Highways or KCC and the proper signs put up there. But if it says no vehicles, it can't mean apart from Dumfords. That's the biggest problem. You can't say no entry and then say, oh, but you can come up, because that's the one that runs over someone, and then we're all in trouble. So we will clarify the position.
May I say,
sorry, yes.
Beresford Road has always had two signs at the start of the road saying no entry except for access. It has always been a no-through road.
Yep.
And as far as I'm aware, Highways have never changed the status of it. So I'd be very interested.
Yes,
to
well,
have a
if we're allowing cars to come the other way, then we're ignoring the signs at the end of the road you're talking to. So it really needs clarifying, because at the moment, if we say nobody's allowed apart from the Dumfords, you can guarantee you'll have the village up in arms about that. So we have to be careful. Yep, we will find out hopefully for the next meeting.
Yeah, but the other problem that's creating, which is even worse, is now cars are being parked on that corner of the junction as
absolutely.
you're coming out, because the parish can, not the parish, the highways put yellow lines down to the River Village Hall, right? Now they park in the opposite side, so to come out, you're coming practically halfway out,
Yep.
and the lorries and the cars now that are coming through. I mean, I go, as you know, up and down to the village hall nearly every day for some reason, and now the cars are so big, I have to stand back to let people pass you.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I think, you know, it's getting more and more
Yes,
serious.
but
to
we
be honest.
will hopefully for the next meeting have some clarification, because yes, it's completely at loggerheads. A sign one end, a sign the other, and you can't say, but we can't, or you can only allow the Dumfords through. We can't do that either. It's all or nothing. You can't say keep it open for them. Very difficult. Very difficult.
This might have a walk. I think the problem is, Chairman, and I don't need any, I'm looking around at all the people here who have never been in the village for many, many years. We've had a lot of new people come to the village and they don't know the history. A lot of them come, there's been lots of new builds in Barriston Road, haven't they? And they are not aware of all the aggro we had all those years ago and why those rules were put in place. And the sign that we keep talking about, some little person in Barriston Road, I've got the police there, I've got the highways being down there, and I'm not going to swear, not in private, but in public, but they turned the sign round. The next day they've turned it round facing Barriston Road. So they know that they're in the wrong, and I think it's very sad that new people are buying these houses in Barriston Road. They do not know the history.
Yeah, but again, I've lived in River
Well, you have,
53 years, as long as I've been married, and I have heard bits and pieces about that bit of land, but I don't know. And I've been here 53 years. I've been an active member of the parish council for more than 10 years, and even I didn't understand. I could see we had an absolute contradiction, sign one end, sign the other, and I understood, oh yeah, it wasn't concreted over completely because we wanted to keep it as a footpath. Then why put a note saying it's not suitable for vehicles, should be no vehicles. But no, we will get clarification. I can't promise anything, but we will try to solve the issue. But you may store up a hornet's nest and find that Dumfords can't use that bit of land, that to come. You know, if highway said it's dangerous, it shouldn't happen, then they may say no. That's got to be no vehicles at all. Yes.
But can I say, has anybody ever approached Dumfords to discuss the issue with them, to find out their views on this?
Well, certainly. I mean, it's hit me 15 minutes ago. So no, I've had no discussions.
It would be a good idea to include them in any discussion at the next meeting.
I'm sure we can
What
get highways
we
to talk to them. Yes.
we want to speak to highways to find out their understanding. Once we've got that clearer in our mind, then we can talk to Dumfords. But at the moment, I'd be talking to them and I've no idea where it's going to go. So we need to wait till the next meeting. We will have some answers and then we'll decide how we go forward.
I rather thought that Mr. Denyer had looked into this, because I wrote some months ago and you said you were going to approach highways.
I've approached them twice. I've approached them twice. I can't get an answer from them. So we'll see if Councillor Beresford has more luck.
Yes, she's very persuasive. Yes.
If they like, which shows the situation.
Yep. Okay, so I say next meeting, hopefully we will have some answers and some better understanding of what is and is not possible. I really fear that we may open a can of worms that we don't like. I really do. But yep. Yes. Okay. No, but next meeting.
Hopefully we'll have something.
Hazardous parking Lower Road near junction with Auckland Road.
We've had this before, but I had a letter from a lady who was, show you a picture of what she was complaining about. She sent me several pictures. That's the junction with Auckland Road, so that's coming down into Lower Road.
That's by Pavilion Meadows.
Yeah,
that's Pavilion Meadows.
So
Yeah.
Downwards.
So they're parking right on the pavement, completely up against the bushes, so that there was no way to walk through. And she's obviously, I think this was Bank Holiday Monday then, when she said this was the problem. And obviously with there being potential weddings and events going there, it's only going to be an increasing problem. I think we did speak to DDC about this, but I can't remember what the
They did the
outcome
line
was.
that they've got the lines that they've got, haven't they? They've done those. Does it go as far as that? I remember.
No, it doesn't.
No,
That
it
bit's the
doesn't.
bit
No, that
that's not
bit's-
got
There's,
anything
there's
on.
no lines at all because those houses, certainly the older ones,
Haven't got
there's no driveway or anything on those. They
That's why
park
they
on the
left that
road wherever they can.
Mm.
I'm not saying it's right, but if
And
you've
there's
got
no line,
nowhere
there's
to
no
park,
W line at the end either, is there?
No,
Comes
really.
in.
Mm.
you know Pavilion Meadow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, well I think that's outside Pavilion Meadow.
And up
Oh,
towards the junction.
Just down,
yeah.
just down from
Yeah.
there actually.
I mean, the
where
biggest
Kersney Abbey.
biggest
yeah,
problem
on the
is
other side.
if we put more yellow lines, then whoever house happens to be
Yeah.
inside that,
Yeah.
they'll be screaming, where do I park?
I think that's where they stopped there, but I could
Plus,
ask them.
obviously the yellow lines that are there, they're completely ignored on some days.
Bank
There's
holidays.
nobody enforcing this ever.
Mm. They do occasionally, but they're not every
Yeah.
time, no.
But I mean, that's the same, it's not just in River that happens everywhere. There's no enforcement or very little, it's very difficult to do, and we can't.
We haven't actually got a law, Dover District Council that says you can't park on the pavement.
No.
We never adapted
No,
it
because
because
people do now, more and more.
Dover would grind to a
Right,
halt.
so what are we saying on this? Are we going to investigate some more or what? Or
Well, you wonder whether, if there are events going on at Kersney Abbey, whether they could apply to put cones on the road there, but then it would need some sort of enforcement.
enforcement, same as a yellow line
Yeah.
cone, equally as
It
enforceable.
needs looking at, doesn't it? Yeah.
Mm.
What?
I don't think they'll
Well,
put any
we've
more
got
yellow lines
we've
there.
got similar things going on at the top end of the village when Dover's playing football and there's cars parked all the way up the Ridgeway and we've got trouble, but nobody's ever allowed to say anything there because it's unpatriotic for the football club.
No, but in fairness, the football club were here long before any of us, even before me. So you do move in knowing there's a football
One
club.
car each, didn't they?
It's the people going to Kersney Abbey, Chairman.
Yep.
I told them what would happen, but it's come true.
Yep. But I say no. I live very close to the football ground, and yeah, it's a nuisance. But it's part of Dover. I don't know what we can do
That
to.
Well,
one-
it comes down to that there is no adequate public transport to Kersney Abbey from
It's a Kersney Abbey.
With town really.
the town.
Yeah,
There should
I
be
understand that, but
there
who
should
should
be a
who
shuttle
should
bus.
put that on then? Who should
They'd say
provide
the
that
football club has to put
transport?
that on. The
Yeah,
stagecoach
that's
won't
not
do it.
football
Yeah, but,
club. I'm talking
you know-
about Kersney Abbey now.
Well,
But
that's
who
true.
should put that transport on then? We?
We did have a
No.
park and
No,
ride there at
but
one
who
time.
would then? Dover
Well,
District Council?
Council, yeah.
Dover District Council tried a park and ride at Kersney. We parked up at Whitfield and they brought you down in the bus.
Mm.
But most people that passed Kersney Abbey to go to Whitfield didn't bother, they just parked up.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying. Yeah, I mean the solution is we run a train service, but it doesn't
There is, but it's about
doesn't
an hour,
happen.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it's a shame because there's a lovely park there which attracts a lot of
It
people,
does.
which could
Which is the idea.
benefit our village financial because there's people coming here. But at the moment we're just getting swamped with cars every weekend,
Mm.
and the locals they just don't like it.
The council doesn't run bus services, so they'd ask Stagecoach and Stagecoach will probably say no,
No, it's not viable. It's not viable. It's not viable.
which isn't right, but
Well, it is right. It's not viable. You know, they would be losing money on it. I'm certain.
but then
Well,
you've got to
the
park,
commercial wo-
you'd have to park the cars somewhere while they called the bus.
And where do you park those?
Yeah,
In town?
there isn't room,
Yeah.
so it's got to be Whitfield.
But
Well,
Whitfield is
can't
becoming.
be a lot of room up at
Whitfield is so amazing what's going on up there. No, I really, I understand, sympathise, but I don't know what we can do or who we can ask for assistance. Everyone's under financial pressure, and what we're suggesting costs an awful lot of money, and nobody's got money at the moment. Everyone's budget has been cut. DDC, KCC,
And public transport in particular, isn't it?
Yep.
But Kersley Parks needs to take responsibility for that.
Well, they'll say they've made the car
They've
park
made-
bigger, which they do,
yes.
but it's still not big enough, anywhere near big enough.
Mm.
As you say, if we're having events or weddings, where are we going to
But what is
park
their
the
plan for
cars?
those
I don't know.
weddings?
I don't know. Hasn't come up for planning
I
yet.
mean,
I
how
don't
many
think.
people go in there and that thing?
I
Right.
think it's for 60.
When is that coming up for planning?
That's all right, I can check.
Yeah, because we need to put in a strong,
We haven't
strong,
had it yet.
yeah, but a strong objection on the grounds that already there is insufficient parking. How are they going to provide more parking? And you'll end up with more of the Kersley Abbey being concreted over.
They won't do that.
No, I know, but I'm just saying that, but if they don't do that, what can they do?
I haven't seen that application yet.
But I think we should, as a parish council, strongly object to it on the basis that already parking is dangerous. Can you note that, Andrew, and make certain that when it comes up, we do register a very strong concern with regard to parking? Because yes, it's true, but we're talking of parking Beresford Road, Common Lane. It sort of extends, you know, where does the parking from the Kersley Abbey start and end? It goes up in front of the village hall at times. I mean,
It would
there's,
do.
Sanctuary close, you mean?
yes, yeah,
They're all
yes,
down there,
yeah.
my dear.
Well, they're
Yeah.
much closer, isn't it?
Right. I mean, there is no short answer on it, but we will certainly look for this planning application.
They're
Yeah.
always down by the road.
Right, London Road Junction with Orkham Road, Templeview, plan.
Oh, I see, improvement.
Right, I was copied into an email from a gentleman in Dover asking who was responsible for that junction coming out of Walkham Road onto London Road.
Oh, gosh,
Andy Howard Grigg from Temple Ewell responded that they've got a plan which they are submitting. It's a 9-page document which I couldn't print out again. Bloody printer didn't work. But I mean, they've come up with quite a scheme, as you can see. It's
Oh, lovely.
And I like when they say existing footpath, there's virtually no footpath there, is there? It's terrifying.
So I mean, they're basically looking at taking out any parking from there and then extending that, bringing the junction out
Yep.
to create a kind of a, so that vehicles can come out a little bit
It
further.
really
Oh,
is,
I get
but
it.
it's an awful
But that bit
junction.
of land,
It is an
who
awful-
owns it?
Well, what if you
Because they don't.
No.
It's railway land, isn't it?
Well,
Could be.
somebody applied for planning because
They've got houses there,
Well,
didn't
they
the
wanted to
flats,
put
remember?
flats there, didn't they?
Yes, yes.
So somebody owns, well, I assume owns
Somebody
it.
owns that.
you
Yes.
can turn right there then.
That's the turn in at the moment, then we go.
I know, but you can.
Yeah.
As a matter of interest, this evening, you know, I drove down this evening, and you come down under the bridge, you know, you've got that dodgy drain, you've got the narrow path and the dodgy drain, which they had did some repairs on not that long ago, but there was a van there tonight, lights flashing and everything, and he's obviously trying to reinforce or
Yeah.
cement it as coincidentally with it.
Because
That's
someone
more or less. Because that bit of road and that junction, well, like that drain, the amount of traffic,
Yeah, that train's
it-
always going,
yeah.
isn't it?
it's always going, yeah.
I mean, you're right, there was an application for building on,
Just, yeah,
By the station
but
entrance,
basically
wasn't
by the station end, which is being used as like a storage place
Yeah.
for, what I see in the
Well,
railway.
surely the answer is we need
Stuff like
to wait to see what happens with this. If you've got a letter from someone, if they haven't got a copy of it,
This was passed on to
Yes.
us, so they've got it.
Yep, right. Right, so
they're coming in that way.
we will therefore watch this
Yeah, right, but you're trying-
planning application or this suggested planning application from Temple U to see what
But
happens
they've got
to
to put
it.
it to highways.
Yeah,
when they
yes,
can,
yes.
when
Oh,
highways
so it's
can.
not planning,
And then
yes.
it's not going to.
And they haven't said where the funding's coming from.
Well,
have
no,
they?
they haven't said the funding, I mean highways.
Yeah.
Mr Chairman, can I make a suggestion?
Yes?
Sorry.
Sorry, can we, it's all right.
As you know, I've attended so many parish council meetings, not just yours, and I have all the news from Temple Ewell because I have their magazine. I read the minutes of their meetings.
Ladies, sorry.
I read the
Thank
minutes of their meetings of Temple Ewell, Lynn and Orcombe, the whole where I used to represent, and the different things. May I, out of courtesy, ask you, when you're discussing something like this, and Christiana's handed it to these people, could we perhaps have a nice one up on the board, we could see what you're talking about, please?
You mean projecting?
A suggestion, I mean, these two have got it, we haven't got it.
Have-
But I do know that Orcombe, I know that Temple Ewell, because Glyn Mosley and I get on quite well, and you get it all in their magazine, all these things, and I know, because I'm a bit of a nosy person, I know what's going on, but I can't follow the meeting when you're all looking at things and somebody here's looking at something. Colin and I, you've got it now, haven't you?
Yeah, but
Well,
in
technically
fairness,
you would have not
that's
had
all.
that.
That's all I've got.
Yeah, that's what I thought, Nick. I
That's
can
all.
see you looking a bit vague.
We've obviously all got the same document. I mean, we
But it's
certainly.
not very clear, is it?
Yes, we could project something to the wall.
But they don't.
Well, if you want to buy a projector,
I've got
Yeah.
one. I'll bring it next time.
It's very strange though, they stopped our bus going there, but they have double deckers going along there now. But our bus couldn't go there anymore.
But as I say, whether this will fly, I don't know.
It's got to go in
But
that
it's
transport
still
plan, isn't it?
not in any way addressing the lack of footpath on that
No.
bit of road.
No, we're not.
It's terrifying. Under
is.
the bridge. I mean, if you're a parent with a pram or a pushchair, no.
Mr Chairman, why didn't they listen to me all those years ago when the bungalow on the corner there was willing to sell the land, so we had a little tunnel through?
All right.
Hindsight is very
Yep.
good, isn't it?
Yep.
We could have had a tunnel through there.
We will, if you have a projector, bring it for the next
Yes.
meeting. If we have anything, we can project it
Yes, it would be nice,
onto here. Yes.
Chairman.
Okay.
One last word, if I may, Mr Chairman.
Yes.
If I was to say that that first car there, if that was as proposed, the car would be at about 45-degree angle.
Yes.
Yeah,
It is.
more.
Yes.
to turn
Because
left
that's
is
it gets
Yeah, it's,
steeper
uh,
as you come back.
absolutely.
It's,
The bus
yes.
won't do that.
Yes.
No, right.
Or any big vehicle would be struggling, yeah.
It's a shame, it's complete non-starter.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's
Right.
not wonderful.
Update on tree planting.
oh, well, we've had this. I actually managed to get a response from somebody. If you wanted trees planted on the highway, you now apply for it under their fault reporting.
Really?
Yeah, one of the options is request a tree to be planted. So you tick that box and you
And then
Send
to
them
see
a-
whether it's suitable.
and they'll see whether it's suitable and then start arguing about money
Who's going to pay
afterwards.
for it? Yeah.
So
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, and what service is it's going to disturb when you
That's the
yeah,
main.
that's what they're looking at.
That's the
what they'll
biggest
check.
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's,
that's the
it's
thing.
what's under the ground.
Yeah.
What they used to allow is no longer
And
allowed.
they're obviously trying to funnel everything through the website, pretty much. They're not.
They are. Everything goes.
You
Right,
get
I
is-
shall have a
is-
look at that,
would,
yes.
would you mind, Pauline?
No.
Yes. You've got a nice long list. Thank you.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, wonderful.
Happy
Right.
to do. Right. Oh,
Right, just on the question of highway matters, at our last meeting, we all said that the lower road, 20 mile per hour, is very, very poorly signposted. Apart from being able to see it on the ground, as you drive along there, there's nothing to say that there's a speed limit in place along there. Nobody's, unless you live in the village, you wouldn't know. And in all honesty, you'd go through at 30. Unfortunately, I know some go even faster. But I
It's
know
poorly
we
done.
were how, for me, it's crying out for some more signage. But what can we have, even if we've got to pay for it? You know, having fought long and hard for this 20 mile an hour speed
Do you
limit,
know who you contacted
when
us?
it's not enforced at all. Nobody is aware when they're driving down there that it's 20 miles an hour only. You'll see it on the ground if you're lucky as you go through, but there's no sign saying 20, 20, 20, and I think we need to at least try, because everyone says, I didn't know it existed. They're on your boot, you can
It's
go
not
through
far.
at 20.
It's just that first bit, then it
Yeah.
disappears, doesn't it?
Surely there are two 20-mile hour limits either side of the road, just past the junction with Miller's Lane.
There is.
There are, but
Yeah.
Further down.
when you get further down,
There's
there's
nothing.
Oh,
nothing.
further down.
Yeah,
There's
further
nothing.
down. Yeah, no, I'm saying that
That's true.
they're all. Everyone is saying, well, oh,
If you get to the Royal Oak, you say,
There's
well,
nothing.
you
There's
haven't seen
nothing.
anything, you know.
The next sign you see is where it says 30.
no.
Yeah.
I know they're there, and we're looking for them. But if you're not really looking as well, yes, it is
You need
easy.
to paint them
Yes.
on the floor as well.
Well, but
And more signage up in the air.
well, I'm saying it really
Yeah,
needs to
you
be
can
up.
have one along
Yes,
and then one
yeah.
over,
But I just wondered whether, you know, if we ask them, even if it costs us money to have them, but if we could have some more signage there, because residents of Lower Road are saying it's
They're not
completely
paying any
ignored.
notice.
It's completely ignored.
Yeah.
But when you go past,
Yes,
you
if
know,
you send me
your,
the name.
just as you go around with that cottage just there, I mean, you can hardly squeeze through. So, you know, you
Yeah.
have to go slow. Recently,
You-
cars on both sides by the river.
Oh
you know,
yes, but you look at the damage to the walls and that there, people don't go that slowly.
No.
People do try to get through there as quickly as is possible, but I just feel that we ought to be saying, can we please have more signs there to at least have a chance of people. They won't respect it. You said put cones, yellow lines. Nobody, you know, if it doesn't suit them, people ignore it.
They move the cones.
Would you mind?
No,
Yeah.
I'll do that when you highlight.
Thank you. Right.
It's all the same place.
11, receive general correspondence.
Notification of the second quarterly Dover Police District Town and Parish Council meeting, 20th of September, 5 o'clock, which will be up in the council offices if anyone's interested.
Thanks.
What was the date again, sorry?
Oh, it's a Wednesday.
20th, yeah, Wednesday.
A week Wednesday.
Yeah. You let me know if you want to go, then they've asked for attendance and also if there are any particular questions that we want to ask.
Yeah. What should we go into? Yeah.
I went to the last one, but I can't go to that one, actually, 20th.
Right. That's all of the formal items on the
That's it,
agenda.
Well, I'm gonna try and
just-
go to it.
One thing that I wanted to bring up, and Pauline said that she has the contact, is river gardeners.
Yes.
There are various areas within the village that could do with a little bit of TLC, bulbs, planting, etc. And I would like to see if we could have a discussion with river gardeners, if they would help us to make the village more attractive. Not expecting them to foot the bill. We would certainly help with costs of bulbs and maybe shrubs, but whether they would agree to help. And I just feel that we need to make more of what we've got. And in some areas we've had certain things and they've gone and they need replacing. But I just thought if we got river gardeners on our side, it could be a nice project for them, certainly something for us, and it would be nice to put bulbs for the spring and whatever it may be. So,
You want me to ask them then? Because I'm on the committee.
oh, are you? Right, well, you can start the discussion if you wouldn't mind that. Yes, Pauline, yes. Yeah,
I
Paul.
mean, we had, if you remember, when Dee Horrigan painted, when we had the garden where Robin now sees to it,
Yes,
that we went and planted hydrangeas. We'd only finished planting them in a day, that night they got painted.
yes.
they
Yeah, I
don't-
know.
You know, and it's so sad. I mean,
Yep.
this week our Peter's been in the river. The main reason he's been in the river is somebody put the lid of the salt in the river. And Robin and Peter went in
Yep.
last week and got it out.
Yep.
And put it back on the bin. You know.
Right.
And
So certainly I would like, if we could, a formal approach then. Pauline will be leading it from our side, but I'd like to see if they could and would
we
help.
got our show
Sorry,
on Saturday.
Oh, this Saturday?
Yeah.
Oh, I can come and
Yes.
So
watch
I
it.
just wanted to ask the information, is there any more knowledge on what's happening with Meadow Jean? That's really getting run down and would be an eyesore there?
No,
Nobody knows anything.
nobody knows.
Is that for auction?
Pauline?
Right,
It was up.
It was
yeah.
up for auction.
Yeah, it was.
Sorry.
Just one point, Mr Chairman, on that last item, did you know that Dover District Council have got a pot of £85,000 which is being granted to local organisations and charities up to single grants of £2,500, and that is for someone like River Gardeners.
Yeah, I was going to say, it doesn't, I know we thought that we could as River Parish Council and we can't apply for it. So yes,
Gardens can.
you have a,
And may I say, don't ask the leader of the Labour group, Councillor Mills, because he planted my bulbs down by the cricketers upside down.
Didn't want them to come up, obviously.
No, he's a good egg. He's a good
Is
egg.
that a garden show on Saturday?
Yes, we've got a garden
Right.
show.
just one thing, I took an initiative with Vicky Thomas this week, and we went to the bus terminus, and somebody had said to me we should make use of the bit of the wall. We've got one piece of wall that's got nothing in, you've got the two end sections with nothing in, but what I've asked Vicky to do, she's going to put there's already a portrait of the Queen, but I said it would be nice to have something in the village to commemorate the Queen and the coronation. So Vicky Thomas is putting her thinking hat on. She's got a Prince Philip, and she's got a Queen one, but her suggestion is that she possibly does the Queen from a younger age, something that shows the years, and then at the end of it, the coronation of Prince Charles. So there'll be about 6 slabs going on there. They'll be very much in keeping with the others, but as she said, as she went on, they became more professional and better. But I have asked her, and she's absolutely delighted being asked to do that. So that is something that she will put into the terminus. Yep.
I will admit where the garden where Robin attends, just opposite Melody, is looking lovely.
Yes.
But somebody seemed to pinched or either a plant has died, because where we planted it, there's a gap there that needs filling.
Yep.
But
But I.
people do take their dogs on it, and their dogs mess on it.
Yes.
And it turned out supposed to be a little garden for people to go and sit.
Yeah, trouble is people a bit of green grass and they think it's where they can walk their dogs.
Yes.
Yeah. But don't mind if they do, if they only had a bag and picked it up. But
yeah.
it doesn't happen. Or it does. Most dog owners are responsible.
Yes.
But certainly then I say that's the terminus, River Gardeners.
Well, I'll go to the thing on Saturday.
Yep, lovely.
Have a word with them.
Anyone else got anything under
Did you have to pump?
items for information? I say AOB, any other business? No?
No.
What I was hoping that Mike Innes would be here tonight, because I know his scheme for the village and the planting didn't work out as it should have done, but I do want to certainly put efforts into getting the river back up to a better state than it is now. And Mike, I think, is the one that really is interested in that. And the only other thing I would say is reading that the mill has cancelled its cider evening worries me. And I have had a brief discussion once with the treasurer, who has said that they obviously are finding it particularly hard, but I don't know how. But I would like to think that we, as a parish council, will look as much as is possible to help the mill. It's as important as a recreation ground. It's those two together. It's the heart of the village, the centre of the village, and I'm really worried that they appear to be having a particularly hard time. I don't know what the answer is. I've not been approached officially, but I've had an unofficial conversation. But for me, it's important that we, if necessary, try to find some way to assist the mill.
They're looking for volunteers at the moment.
I think it's volunteers is the problem.
Well, I think
Big
it's
notice, isn't it?
the biggest problem they've got is shortage of money, unfortunately.
Yes.
It's
And the volunteers,
yes,
because
yes.
I know one of them, Alan, is there nearly, say, 24 hours, well, nearly 48
Yep.
hours, brilliant really, but he's there all the time,
Yep.
and he's getting older and he's not well, so
Yep. So no, certainly that's one of my aims in the next year or two, to get closer if we can with the mill, and hopefully to be able to assist them, guide them, because they seem to be struggling at the moment. It's a real pity. But no, on that happy note, we're now 9:15. Unless there's anything else, I'm about to say meeting closed. Thank you very much. I promise you, we will not forget the Beresford. It will be sorted. We will come back with what we've discovered. We'll come back with answers. May not be what we want, but we'll come back with answers. Okay. Thank you all very much. Thank you.